Welcome back to my channel. I'm James. Today we're going to be reviewing and deep diving into the brand new 4K Ultra HD release of Vanilla Sky and the brand new 4K Ultra HD release of The Firm. And this is the 30th anniversary of The Firm. And man, can I think that time flies by fast when you stop and think about that, because I remember seeing this originally when it came out. But that kind of dates me a little bit, just a little bit. But I've always enjoyed The Firm and Vanilla Sky, and they are two Tom Cruise films that I do think are varying performances, but that are really enjoyable films. So I was excited when they announced these were coming out on 4K Ultra HD. Well, today I'm going to be diving into both of these, sharing all my exclusive testing data, and showing you the side-by-side exclusive 4K versus the original Blu-ray image comparisons that I do exclusively here on this YouTube channel. That's where I pull all of the data off of both of these discs, compare them to the previous Blu-ray releases of these films, and then show you side-by-side the native images from each of these discs up above. That way you can see the differences between each of these releases, and that lets you know whether these are worth buying and upgrading. And then at the end, I always wrap it up with my review score that lets you know the sum up total quality of each of these 4K sets, and lets you know if there's something that you should add to your collection. Now, if you decide you're gonna buy either of these 4K Ultra HD releases after you get done watching my review video, it's important that if you decide you're gonna buy either of these after hearing my review score, that you click through those links I've posted in the description section and as a pinned comment in the comment section below. Just like this exclusive video where I do all these native image comparisons, it's extremely time consuming and expensive for me to create every single one of these exclusive videos. That's why no one else does these. So you want to make sure to support these videos and the creation of these videos here on my channel. So make sure if you're going to buy either of these after hearing my reviews, to click on those links I've posted down in the description section and as a pinned comment in the comment section below. Those never cost you anything extra when you click on those to order from them, but it does help. The little bit of pennies from those do help to support creation of videos just like this. Now we're going to start off with the 2021 Paramount Presents Blu-ray release of Vanilla Sky up here. As I said at the beginning, this is always the native images pulled directly from these discs. That's without any of the artificial things your TV can do to change color saturation or to make everybody look like they're bleeding. So these are always the native images, which is what makes the most difference in what we see when we're watching these films on our home TVs and professionally calibrated 4K displays. Now, on the original Paramount Presents release, I did enjoy it. I thought it looked very nice in comparison to the Blu-ray that was before that. The Blu-ray before that was extremely poor. And Cameron Crowe actually supervised and oversaw that Blu-ray release from Paramount Presents. And it was a huge step up in quality over the previous Blu-ray before this one. Now, in comparison to the new 4K Ultra HD release, I have some exciting news. This is a native 4K 2160p, and it does have Dolby Vision and HDR10 on it. I can tell you, as you're probably noticing those image comparisons above, this does have quite a bit more depth and detail in the image, and it does have a nicer layer of film grain than even the previous Paramount Presents Blu-ray release had on it. Now, I can also tell you this 4K is created from a brand new 4K restoration that was originally supervised by the original director Cameron Crowe, and he approved it. Now, this is taking from the original Paramount Presents 4K restoration they were working on for that Blu-ray release. I can tell you they fixed a lot of the little nitpicky things and issues that I had with the previous Paramount Presents release. Those are fixed and repaired on this, so you don't notice those at all on this anymore. The fluctuations that were in the film grain before that were on that Blu-ray are gone on this 4K Ultra HD. This does have a much more stable layer of film grain without any of the blocking or clumping that was present on the Paramount Presents Blu-ray release before. Overall, the film grain is very filmic and stable throughout the entire runtime. There was some very slight digital noise present on this, but it's very slight and only briefly throughout some very random scenes throughout. But those same things that were present on that previous Blu-ray, because of the fluctuations on the film grain, you really couldn't notice as heavily the digital noise because it was blending in with those fluctuations at the same times. Whereas on this, it doesn't have those issues at all, and does lend to this being a much more pleasing image than what I really enjoyed on the Paramount Presents 2021 Blu-ray from before. This improved in almost every single aspect on the image quality. Now, if you haven't done so yet, make sure to go down there, give this video a like and a thumbs up for me, hit that subscribe button and the bell notification. Just like with this exclusive video, you never want to miss out on any of this exclusive content that you're only ever going to find to watch here on my YouTube channel. So make sure to go down there, Give this video a like and a thumbs up for me. Hit that subscribe button and the bell notification. Now, talking about the difference between the Dolby Vision and the HDR10 on this, I can tell you the Dolby Vision was the clear winner on this. It had roughly an 8% better looking colors, tones, all around the image on that looked better on Dolby Vision than it did on the HDR10. The HDR10 still looks good, don't get me wrong on that side of it. It's just that when I compare the two side by side, I can see the differences between them. The Dolby Vision was the winner on this, and I did enjoy the Dolby Vision the most on this. Now, audio-wise, we do get English, DTS, HD, Master Audio 5.1 lossless mix. I can tell you it's a very healthy, strong audio mix. It sounds very clear and clean throughout the entire film. I had no issues with it whatsoever. I can tell you it's the exact same audio mix as the previous Blu-ray release. So as far as that goes, the audio didn't have a one-up on either release. They were both the same, but they were both very strong and healthy audio mixes, and I enjoyed it and thought it was very nice. So the image is where you're getting the biggest improvements on this. And that's where the things in the image you're noticing in those comparisons above are different. The skin tones and the varying shades because of the HDR10 and Dolby Vision, and all of those varying shades of color grading that's available with HDR that is so much wider of a color gamut than what you get on a standard Blu-ray, makes a nice drastic improvement on this that you notice healthier skin tones throughout with much more varying shades, and different people throughout the film have different skin tones. You can see so much more of that varying throughout this film than you could on the previous Blu-ray release. Along with the depth and detail on this, because this is a native 4K 2160p, does look a lot better. You notice a lot of things, even in the opening scenes, like when Tom Cruise is looking in the mirror, and he looks in the mirror a lot in this film. But you'll notice you can see so much more of his pores and his hair and his skin. So much more details are present on this. Then you pop in the old Blu-ray from 2021. I call it an old Blu-ray, but it wasn't that long ago. And you can see details, but nowhere near as much. You can't see the depth in his skin. You can't see the pores and the details in his pores and the detail in his hair as much. Whereas this, it shines through really nicely. Now, to show you what you get in this, you do get this really nice shiny metallic slipcover. It says Vanilla Sky and it says first time on 4K. Talks about it. The 4K Ultra HD disc in this is region free, and I'll show you that here in a second, but I want to talk on the special features here. You'll notice the special features that are listed on the back of this are the exact same as the Paramount Presents release. And that's because they actually gave us the Paramount Presents previous Blu-ray release as the Blu-ray copy in this set. So if you own the previous Paramount Presents Blu-ray release, you won't need to keep that anymore. You can sell that copy because you actually get the actual Paramount Presents Blu-ray in here along with the new 4K Ultra HD transfer and 4K release. So if you enjoyed the Paramount Presents one, which was the nicest of the Blu-ray releases, you automatically get this in this with all of the special features, and they gave us a ton of them with some new ones that were on that Paramount Presents release. It had a really nice selection of special features. They're included in this set, which is a really nice bonus. I thought that was a really nice addition. It kind of surprised me when I opened it up. Even though I already own the Paramount Presents Blu-ray, it was just nice they didn't have to keep that one along with this one. They include that in this automatically, and you get your 4K Ultra HD disc, so you're not missing out on anything from that Paramount Presents release before. Now, I've always enjoyed Vanilla Sky and think it is personally one of Cameron Crowe's best films. I really like a lot of his films. This one I think is one of his best. I think the music's amazing in it. As always, Cameron Crowe's films have amazing music, but it does have a really good performance by Tom Cruise, and Kurt Russell's in it, and Cameron Diaz is in it, and Penelope Cruz, and there's so many actors and actresses in this that do a really good job. It's got a really great story that makes you think. It will touch your heart. It really tugs at different elements. It's got some good drama, some good acting in it. And I will tell you, it's one of those films that it is rated R for strong language and strong sexual content. So keep that in mind if you're going into this. But it's one of those performances by Tom Cruise that I've always really enjoyed. He kind of stepped out and did something different than he normally did. He's not an action hero in this. And that's where I really enjoyed this, because it's a different style for Tom Cruise that expanded his repertoire of acting abilities, in my opinion, and showed a different side of his acting chops. Now, getting to the rough average bitrate here, this had a healthy and decently stable 64 megabits per second. It was nice and healthy throughout it. I'm not going to say it's the best rough average bitrate I've seen. It's not, obviously. If you followed my channel for a while, we've had some in the hundreds, and they've been just absolutely shocking. but it's decent and good for the film itself. It lends to why the image looks nice throughout it, but it is a nice and healthy improvement over the previous Blu-ray and is the ultimate way to view Vanilla Sky on 4K Ultra HD. Now, getting to my review score, this gets an excellent 9.4. This is one of those that is a worthwhile upgrade and is a must buy that you want to buy and add to your collection. Even if you own the previous Paramount Presents, I enjoyed the upgrade in image quality overall, especially with that Dolby Vision. It was such a nice improvement that I enjoyed that depth and detail so much that if you have a professionally or correctly calibrated home 4K display and 4K player, you will notice those improvements and appreciate them enough that it makes this a worthwhile upgrade, because Paramount's not charging very much for these releases. Both with this and the firm that I'm going to get to here in a minute are more budget 4K Ultra HD releases. They're not charging $25, $30, $35 for these. They're charging 20 bucks, right around 20 bucks. I've been seeing them go for right around $19.99 to about $21, $22, which is a really good price point, because they're doing a good job with this 4K release, not charging too much for it, but making it a worthwhile upgrade. Now, for those of us that enjoy the film, you get things that increase your appreciation of the film. You can see more depth and backgrounds and all of that in the image. Over that previous Blu-ray, they threw the extra Paramount Presents Blu-ray in here anyways, and was a worthwhile upgrade that is a must-buy you're going to want to buy and add to your collection. If you decide you're going to buy this and add this to your collection, make sure to click on those links I posted down below in the description section and as a pinned comment in the comment section below. Those are very important to helping and supporting the creation of these exclusive videos. If you enjoy all the time, the hard work, and my heart and soul I put into every single video I create here on my YouTube channel, make sure to join my Collectors VIP Club. That's very important to the continued success and creation of videos just like this. I can only continue to do this through all of you, my viewers and subscribers support. I need every single one of you, my viewers and subscribers support through the Collectors VIP Club. It only costs you less than a couple of bucks every month. You can find that change lying around in your house, but it really does make a huge difference in me being able to continue to do this every single week. So I'm asking all of you to please support these videos and to support this channel by joining my Collectors VIP Club. I want to say thank you to all of my current Collectors VIP Club members. You truly do make a big difference, and I appreciate every single one of you. I'm hoping to get this channel to grow faster so I can continue to do this, because it has been more and more of a struggle lately. I've been trying to get funds together to continue to do this, but I can tell you the budget that I have is extremely small. That is why every little bit of support, clicking on those links that I post down there, joining the Collectors VIP Club, every single thing, truly, I can't tell you how much it really matters to these videos. So any support you can give really does help out. Now, to start off with here, we're going to start off with the 2011 The Firm Blu-ray release. I can tell you this has been re-released numerous times, but it's the exact same poor transfer. It has always been a pretty darn poor Blu-ray transfer. It's had very dull and muted colors. It had very odd skin tones throughout it. There'd be scenes where they'd go from like yellow skin tones to like orange skin tones to like everybody looked very gray. Overall, the Blu-ray had just an overall poor looking transfer, poor looking skin tones. It was not a great Blu-ray release. I've always really enjoyed this film, but I can tell you the Blu-ray has always been a very poor transfer. In comparison to the new 30th anniversary 4K Ultra HD release, this is a native 4K 2160p. It does have Dolby Vision and HDR10. I can tell you between the Dolby Vision and HDR10 on this, they were both very similar. Unlike what I talked about with Vanilla Sky, on this one, both the Dolby Vision and the HDR10 both looked almost identical. I mean, literally, you're maybe talking a 1% difference. When I was going side by side, I could not tell the difference between either one of them. They both looked very similar. They do look good, but I'm going to explain what I mean about that a little bit later on here. As far as this release goes, I do want to start off first of all talking about the special features. There's a reason for it. Both this release and the previous Blu-ray release have been misreported by numerous outlets that they had a bunch of special features on them. That is completely incorrect. Previous Blu-ray release that I own has 0 special features. There's no behind the scenes, there's no talking with the cast. It's literally the film on Blu-ray. And that's what I've owned for many years. This is the exact same way. There's no special features on this 4K Ultra HD release. It's literally the new 4K scan and transfer that they did for this from the original film elements, but it's not got any new special features added, behind the scenes, things like that. So go into it understanding that. And just like I was explaining a little bit ago, this is a budget 4K Ultra HD release from Paramount Studios. They are doing more and more of these, and I appreciate this because they're not charging much. You're looking at about 20 bucks for this. You're not looking at 25, 30, 35, 45 bucks. This is literally 20 bucks. You don't have to wait for a big sale to get it where it's 15 bucks. So I understand where they're coming from this. They're doing the work on the transfer, but they're not spending tons of money to do a bunch of extra things for it, but that's reflected in the price. That's why it's only $20. Now, getting back to the image on this, I can tell you this does have much better skin tones, more stability in those skin tones. Like I was talking about with the previous Blu-ray, there was numerous scenes where it go like yellow, gray, brown, and their skin tones are just all over the place on that Blu-ray. It was so poorly done that you really could just flip back and forth between scenes and you think, man, 1 second they're tan, 1 second they're jaundiced, 1 second they look like they're dead, 1 second they look like they're a zombie, all over the place. This, it does have much more stability in the colors and the skin tones, though I will say it's not perfect. So that's where when I get to my review score, you'll understand what I mean a little bit later on, but it's still not perfect. You still will have some fluctuations in those skin tones. It's just not anywhere near as drastic or heavy, and you don't have it where on this is actually shocking where you're watching this. It literally just, they'll be slightly, hey, one scene they look slightly more tan, one scene slightly less. Whereas that one, it literally would go to where they look like different people. Like I said, 1 second bright yellow, 1 second dark tan, 1 second, gray is all get out. You don't have that on this. They're just slight variations. So they did a much better job because of the HDR10 and Dolby Vision on this as well. It does drastically help their skin tones, and the more realistic, lifelike look to the film looks so much better on this than it did on the previous Blu-ray overall. There's numerous scenes, because this came out in 1993, it is a film of the 90s. It has scenes with them driving at the car at night with the sun setting, very similar to like a lot of 80s films. It's a very great stylized soundtrack that plays and gives you that just comforting feeling. A lot of it's warmer colors for skin tones, warmer colors for their outfits, warmer colors for their houses, filming it during night times where there's warmer lights on, and it's just more of a warmer glow to the film intentionally. And I've always enjoyed the look of the film, and that's what I've grown up watching, and I love this film itself. I think it's a great film. I liked the book. I do think the book is slightly better, but the film itself holds up wonderfully to this day. It is a slick thriller that no matter how many times I watch this, my wife and I sit there and are completely entertained and love the film itself. But you still have to temper your expectations. When I say temper your expectations, it's just not gorgeous as the best looking transfer that you're ever gonna see, but it's good. And I'll explain a little bit more about that here. This does have some slight digital noise throughout it. It's not the worst I've seen in a transfer, but there is digital noise throughout it. You'll notice in numerous scenes. It's not so heavy that literally if you're sitting far enough away that you're gonna notice it so heavily, but if you're sitting at the right range from the size of your TV, you'll see some of it. It's a lot of the times with a lot of the opening credits, you notice some digital noise around the actors' names, the cast names, things like that. There's some digital noise. And then a little bit later on in the film, some of the nighttime scenes, you notice a little bit there. But it wasn't too heavy, it's just it was a little bit more noticeable than what I would say is something I'm comfortable with in some of those scenes. As far as the film grain goes, it's very light and filmic throughout it, though it does have some fluctuations. There is some scenes it's slightly more heavier than it is, and some scenes it's slightly lighter. But it does not mean that they use DNR on it. That is not present. There is a different thing that's used for DNR that you can notice throughout it. It just has to do with the film elements and things like that that they were using for camera lenses, because some of the scenes were intentionally filmed soft. And that's where I've talked about this numerous times over the years, that some people don't understand how things were filmed in the 90s, the 80s, and so on before that. They used a lot of camera lenses and filters to give an overall hazy and soft appearance. And with film grain, sometimes that can become more apparent, where it causes the film grain to look slightly either more heavy or lighter in scenes based on the film lenses and the camera lenses and filters they used when filming at the time. This one, they did use lenses and filters heavily throughout it in numerous scenes. There's scenes where Tom Cruise is driving with his new wife in the new Mercedes-Benz, and you can notice they heavily used a lens over that and a filter to give it a very dreamlike, hazy appearance, like all of their dreams are coming true. That's intentional. That is not something wrong with this film. It's not something wrong they did with the transfer. I see a lot of the times it get misreported. A lot of the times people don't know anything about the original film elements. And so they misreported saying, oh man, there's so many scenes in it where it's so soft and it just looks so soft overall. And I see people talking about that. It's not something wrong with it. That's how they filmed it intentionally. No matter how many times they scan those original film elements, it's not going to change it. It's not going to change it in any shape or form, because that's the way they intentionally did it from the director and the director of photography when they created this film. Now, I will say the new 4K has some decent depth and overall details in the image over the previous Blu Ray, but again, because a lot of this was used with lenses and filters, some of that depth and detail gets taken away because of the camera lenses they use that cause that softer look intentionally. You can only get so much depth and detail out of those scenes, which again, I've seen misreported, because you can only get so much depth and detail because of how they filmed it. So it's an upgrade over the Blu Ray, and you will notice it's a nice, healthy improvement. But because a lot of those soft scenes that were intentionally filmed that way, there's only so much depth and detail they can get out of this. So that's where I said temper your expectations. If you understand how the film was created, then you'll be pleased with this and excited for how this turned out. It's just not going to be a reference quality 4K transfer. Talking about the audio, this does have an English Dolby UltraHD 5.1 mix. And I can tell you in comparison to the previous Blu Ray release, it does sound better. It did have slightly better range on it. It was clearer. It had some more crisp sound effects than what the previous Blu Ray release had. So they did do a little bit of work, you can tell, in the audio. But again, it's not going to be one of those reference audio that you're going to say, man, that blew me away as the best audio restoration ever. It's just slight things you'll notice. The clarity is much better. The music sounded better on this. A lot of the musical score behind it and the musical soundtrack sounded a lot better on this 4K than it did on the previous Blu-ray release. So I did appreciate that, because that was an upgrade that I didn't expect to get on this. Now, showing what you get in this, mine did not come with a slipcover. I know there is some slipcovers out there, but my understanding is they're limited and hard to find, because mine did not come with it, and all of the stores I went to try to find a slipcover did not have any slipcovers. So I don't know if only certain retailers even got them in, or if they're just taking them off and throwing them away. I didn't get one and wasn't able to find one, but it does have a metallic slipcover that some stores have available. Mine didn't have it. It does say 30th anniversary on the top. You do get a digital movie code to redeem for the 4K edition of this. And I do like this cover artwork. I think it's very nice. It says the firm on the side. Talks about it back here again, saying that there's no special features. Now, when you get inside here, this is why I said you'd have your digital movie code here, no Blu-ray disc, which it's not needed because the previous Blu-ray didn't have any special features on it anyways. This one here is your 4K Ultra HD disc. It's 100% region free. You won't have any issues playing it anywhere worldwide. So if you're wanting to import or buy this, make sure to use that link I've posted down in the description section or as a pinned comment in the comment section below. Now, as far as the rough average bitrate goes on this, it did have some fluctuations throughout it that were pretty high and then lower and then high. Now, it didn't get down into the teens, but it was on those fluctuations. It would get down to like the 25, 30, and then it would go back up. But for your rough average bitrate, you're looking at right around 55 megabits per second, which is decent. It's just, like I said, not the best you're ever gonna see. So go into it understanding that and understanding the quality of the film the way it is, and you'll still enjoy the transfer, because the upgrade in this is still a nice and healthy improvement over the Blu-ray, which is what we're comparing it to in the first place. A budget release that's replacing a horrible looking Blu-ray, and they did a decent job with this. Getting to my review score, this gets a good 8.7. It's a worthwhile upgrade that I enjoyed. It's not one that I'm gonna say, like I said, is gonna blow you away or knock your socks off, but this is classic Tom Cruise 90s film that I love watching. It's got a great supporting cast in it. Gene Hackman's great in this film. I love his like simmer of like the little comments he makes to Tom Cruise's wife. Man, if I was there, I would have punched the guy in the face. I mean, not literally punched him in the face, but you know what I mean. He made some nasty comments if you really think about it. Man, there was some really good sinister things in it, some great cast, some great acting in this. It's a fun 90s film that I've always really enjoyed. Blu-ray was horrible anyways, so I'm happy with the upgrade we got. No, it's not perfect. I would have loved for them to have made some special features for this, specifically for this release, but we didn't have them on the Blu-ray before from 2011, so we're not missing anything on that, so I can't ding them for that when it wasn't there anyway. 8.7 is a good review score. Go into it with that understanding and you'll enjoy it, especially if you like this film. You'll enjoy the upgrade because that Blu-ray was so horrible in the first place. Just understand when you see those scenes that are soft, that's intentional based off of the camera lenses and filters they used at the time when they filmed this. That is intentional in the 90s, specifically for this film. They even talk about it was intentional. If you know anything about how this was done, that is on purpose. That is not something wrong. It's not DNR. There's no grain reduction. It's simply the way it was intentionally filmed. And I enjoy this. It was a nice, enjoyable 4K. I was very happy to add it to my collection, but it is an 8.7 image and sound quality. Now, if you decide you're gonna buy the Firm or Vanilla Sky on 4K Ultra HD, make sure to use those links I've posted in the description section and as a pinned comment in the comment section below. As I said, those links never cost any of you even a penny extra, but those pennies from that really helps to support the creation of videos like this. And I need every single one of your support. As I said earlier, make sure to join my Collectors VIP Club that helps to support creation of videos just like this. As a lot of you have asked this week, you asked me to do Avatar. Well, I've been working on Avatar and then I saw there was about 100 other reviews that came out of it. And if a video doesn't get enough support, I really can't spend the time to even finish working on that video. So I stopped working on Avatar, started working on this video immediately, so that way I could get this one out as soon as possible, because it seems like when there's about 50, 60 reviews, I don't even know how many I saw of them out there. It seems like people only watch so many reviews, and if I'm late to the game because it takes me so much time and work to create these exclusive image comparisons, it's really hard for me to make that video and then it not be profitable, because remember, I can only do this and continue to do this if I can afford to do it. That's what a lot of you just don't seem to understand. Is I see a lot of comments I get saying, well, I'll support your video by giving you a like. Well, that doesn't help to support this video. I know the like seems great, and yeah, it is nice to get a like, but that doesn't help to pay the bills to create these videos that I spend weeks upon weeks testing, analyzing, pulling data off of these to create these exclusive videos. And it's just something, if I don't have your viewer support through the VIP club or using those links, that's the only way I actually get financial support for these videos, because I'm not paid or sponsored by any of these companies or studios. Even if I get a title sent for review, just to let you know, that doesn't help pay the bills and that doesn't help me to be able to continue doing this every day and every week. So that's why I always say it's very important, and I don't know how to stress that more. But that is why, like with Avatar, I wanted to do that review and I was halfway through it, pulling data off and doing all of it. But then when I saw there were so many out there, it's just the videos have to be profitable for me to be able to keep creating them. And that's why I'm trying to be more selective on what of these 4K versus Blu-ray image comparisons I create. There's been numerous other reviewers that have stopped reviewing a lot of 4K releases, and they've made posts about it because they can't afford to do it anymore because it's very expensive for them. Well, imagine they're simply holding a case up and talking about it. They don't do all the exclusive image comparisons like what I do. So if it's expensive for them to just sit and talk and hold it, imagine how much it costs me time, work, and energy to create these videos that all of you enjoy watching. So that's why I said it's important. I can only say that so many times. I've been saying it for years, but my wife's gotten to this point where she's tired of us losing money, tired of me making videos and us not being profitable on them, and I keep putting money into it, but that's coming to an end and it's getting more and more difficult. And so I'm telling all of you, I'm relying on all of you to support the creation of these videos and support this channel. It's getting to the point where I have to be more and more selective and more careful what videos and content I create because of limited budget. So I'm relying on all of you. I'm hoping all of you hear this message. I try to provide something that I saw that was lacking in the market, that provides you something that no one else does, so you can see the accurate differences between each thing. And I do really appreciate all of your support. Make sure to go down there if you haven't done so yet. Give this video a like and a thumbs up for me. Hit that subscribe button and the bell notification. As always, I truly hope all of you have a blessed day. I've always got something new, exclusive, early, and exciting coming out very soon.